Welcome to another episode of Angels, Positivity and Love. Incredible guests the world over with incredible talents. They're quite often helping others. They're, in essence, dedicating their life in service to others. They've been through some sort of a transformative experience, whether it was in childhood, their young adult years, or recently. Sometimes it's a near-death experience. I think sometimes it's 3 to 5 of those. We've had some guests with that many. We've had all walks of life: doctors, psychotherapists, healers, New York Times bestsellers, Super Soul Sunday guest, Watkins 100 guests, Super Soul 100 teacher as well, Delta Force operator, the youngest ever admitted at age 23. He was in his 50s when he gave his interview. Also, he's a naturopath. White House physician to the US president, and so on. We're approaching 500,000 channel visits, which is a big deal. I would encourage you to share this a little bit. We're a little bit off the algorithm's radar screen. So if you know somebody interested in spirituality, transformation, humor, and I would add one more thing about this show. We're very unusual in that towards the end of the show, typically, guests often take steps with the universe. Angels smelling sage, seeing light on their fingers. We'll try to do some of that today. It could be spirit guides, Native American chiefs, figures from India, even galactic figures. We had a mind, body, spirit panel where the 3 guests before the show, a lot of action takes place before and after the taping. But during the show, they got to see, I believe it was a Pleiadian, Arcturian. I never remember what we do. You'll have to watch that mind, body, spirit panel. It was the one with Britt Elders, Lisa Richmond, and Dr. Christian Strang. Check that one out. Today's guest is coming back to us. I'm a huge fan of hers. She's off the charts: psychic, intuitive, healer, author, show host. Been doing this a long time. She's got a beautiful book, The Little Blue Room. We're going to have her back on as much as we can in 2025. Pauline Raphaela, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me back, Michael. You know, I always love playing with you.
And that's what we were doing before the show.
Yeah.
We were just having a lot of fun. There might have been some ancient Egypt happening. We'll let our guest share what she wants to share here. Could we start with, when did you know you were super talented when it comes to the universe, intuitive skills? We'll call it paying attention, or just basic listening and a little bit of seeing.
I knew after I was told by God to leave my job and start studying herbal medicine, and I did. And then I started to study energy medicine, and it was like I already knew it. It was like I knew it on some level. I was just remembering it. And I knew that I just had something there that was already familiar to me, that I had already done before. And it was in the early days of my transformation into being a healer. And it's like it all made sense. It made more sense to me than the linear world.
And you were up and coming in the linear world. It was, if I remember, it was human resources. It might have been real estate as well. New York City, Midtown Manhattan, or Manhattan at least, and so on. So it's absolutely crazy for most of us to leave a job like that to ever go in a totally new direction. So you were taking, quote, chances at the brain level, but your heart just knew it was the right direction to go. Can you share with us what else happened since then? You've had a longer career, a good book of business, and then the book came out. Share with us a little bit more about how that evolved.
Yeah, and you know, it kind of evolved on its own. I had no plan. There was no plan because I didn't really know what to expect. I was kind of following this intuitive voice very clearly, and I write about that in the book. You know, when God wants you to go this way and you're going that way, trust me, you go the way God was. If you are transforming and you want to really see how this, you know, the magical path, okay, the true authentic path of the soul unfolds, read my book. You will go on a journey as you read it. That's what people tell me. They're like, I was journeying with you, but it was my own journey of my own circumstances. And I was healing, and I was crying, and I was laughing, and it's like a huge wake-up call when you read the book, huge wake-up for you. And so I didn't have a plan. I didn't know. It was like I was led day by day, week by week. And all of a sudden, I found myself doing energy work and healing work. And then one day, it's like I was lifted up energetically out of my body, whisked downstairs into my computer room. And I was like told, just type, just type, just type. And therein was the book. So it's like I didn't have a plan. This is the most miraculous thing. I had a plan in my linear life. I was climbing the ladder. I knew I wanted to be a human resource director. For different companies. I knew what the salary I wanted. This was like a complete 360 of something new. And what I did was I just kept paying attention and I kept following the path, the things that God wanted me to do. One of the things that was really important was I meditated so much. I had a lot of free time to meditate, to talk to spirit, to heal my life. And all of a sudden, it's like the psychic energy, the intuitive, being clairaudient, it just opened up like that. And this can happen to us when we get out of the way. And that's what happened to me. It just kind of happened because I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking I'm going to become an author. I'm going to become psychic. I'm going to become a healer. I was just sort of following, like, in such a small-minded way until I was told, oh, no, there's something much bigger coming. And I don't know. I just trusted it. I trusted. So I can't even tell you like I did something specific other than to work on myself every day. Every day I worked on myself. And what happened was it's like a rose in bloom. There's this unfolding that happens. And the real you starts to come out. And so the real you is unfolding. And that alone was pretty exciting, I have to say. Along with, all the tears of healing the past and the old traumas and the old heartaches and things like that. But when you read the book, you'll understand what that unfolding looks like and how you don't have to have it all figured out.
Can you talk to us about your book of business? It's been how long since you hung a shingle out? You've had a steady or strong book of business. You're in demand. How long have you been doing what you're doing now? Can you also just quickly encapsulate that if somebody wanted to reach out?
In 25 years. 25 years I have been in private practice, which was way before this was well known. And so, and my healing journey started way back in like 1988. So I'm really kind of a pioneer of all this.
And you're in the Glen Cove, Long Island area, but your clients are from all over, not just they've heard about you, they get in touch, they get back in touch.
Yes. My book of business is mostly repeat clients. Some people don't leave my calendar. They are committed to doing their work, to developing themselves, and whether they come see me or remotely, we work once a month, once every 6 weeks. It's a steady ongoing thing. And I give them some homework to do, in the meantime, read this, read that, journal this, let's talk about that next time. And it's just, it's a progression. It's a progression of healing. And they love it because they have someone who's been there. I'm not coaching, I'm helping them experience what they need to experience for themselves.
That's an important point. Okay, let's go big picture. We're going to hang a right-hand turn or go straight up. The universe, only an eternal question of mankind. Are we alone in the universe or is it really big? What does the universe look like? What's this all about? Are we getting help? Are we the only only game on the Las Vegas Strip, the only casino, or is there a really big community out there willing to help us out?
The community out there is so huge. I don't even know if we can comprehend it all. But it is there. And it's funny, intuitively, even as a young person, before I knew anything, I knew we were never alone. Although I didn't see anyone, like I hadn't seen angels or any, but I knew we were never alone. And we are never alone. Never. Huge community of galactic beings, angels, light beings, you blue beings, um, ancestral beings, you name it, they're there.
Hmm. And day to day, I mean, this is a lot for people to take in if they're trying to think their way through it. It's sort of like the whole UAP, UFO thing. That'll never end because there's always more research to be done, more FOIA or Freedom of Information Act requests, or who said what, chasing things down like Dr. Sherlock Holmes, or like Sherlock Holmes. The point of that is it's a never ending paper chase. And then there's being in the heart and just being aware, letting go, listening, feeling, sensing. Sure, you can ask a question, but you can also get answers back. Can you describe the difference between trying to think your way there and grasp stuff that can't be grasped versus allowing and being?
Well, the way that I did it, listen, I was like everybody else. You're trying to figure out your life. You're planning it out. You're going after the things that you want. You've got a linear plan, right? And so you have to get out of that. It's like you have to surrender all of that. You have to let that go. And that is not easy to do because we do live in a very left brain world where everything is figured out and decided upon. Here's where I want to go. How do I get there? And when you're working with energy, and let's just call it your destiny, your soul's destiny, you don't have to figure it out. It's already figured out for you. And you have more than one road. There's more than one option. There's more than one road to get you where your ultimate fulfillment can be. You just have to learn how to follow along. And that is probably the biggest struggle for most people, is to follow along and to surrender what they thought maybe they wanted or how to get there and let it unfold. And the way that you do that, you have to connect with the power that is bigger than you. Whether you want to call that universe or God, for me, it was very much God, but an angel. You have to connect with a higher power. You have to. And in doing so, they guide you. And you have to do the work to reach up to them. You have to do that work. But as soon as you do that, it's almost like there's this, this connection. And then you're more in their flow. And when you want to start to get linear and you want to start to do things more logically, your intuitive self goes, no, makes logical sense, but no, that's not where you want to go. So it's developing this trust as well. It takes a little time, I will tell you that.
Well, I mean, hey, let's talk Olympics, the giant dive or the Acapulco cliff divers. It's going to feel like as you edge up to the edge of the cliff to maybe take that leap of faith, non-religious, religious faith, whatever you want to call it, getting from here to here, that the concept of surrender is something really complex. In fact, the history of the last 100 years, there have been organizations, instructors, teachers, gurus who have taken advantage of that. We're not actually talking about any surrender of your authentic self, your authentic power, who you are. In fact, there's nothing to gain or nothing to lose. It's stop doing so much doing, like just slow down and pay attention. Can you talk to us about that nuance a little more, that there's really nothing to it, but the brain's going to make it into a Himalayan mountain trek?
One of the things that I experienced was learning how to be comfortable in the non-doing. And in the space of the non-doing, you're actually doing something at a higher in a higher plane of reality, in another plane of reality, and just sort of waiting and being patient for that divine moment to come in where the spark is there more on the physical level, and you know when to take action.
So are you saying high school kids actually have that guru instinct when they're sitting around doing nothing? They're actually doing something. We could take a page out of their playbook.
Yes, if they are aware. Now there's so there's a little bit of a paradox here. There is that I don't want to do anything. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't want to do my homework. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. yes, it could be some laziness, it could be some lack of direction, but I will tell you, there is something else going on the higher realms, all right? Because oftentimes, because I've worked with young people like that, and they're like, why aren't things working out? I'm like, they will, it will, but you have to pay attention. You got to do some other things. What inspires you? And it's getting them out of this, well, nothing's happening for me mentality, because sometimes that non-doing is important. It's like physically you want to do something, but energetically you haven't caught up to that point in time when that thing happens. And I'll give it, so let's just say a college student wants to take a year off from school, or one semester off because they feel tired or it's overwhelming. They might want to do something else. And the parents like, absolutely not. That's a horrible idea. You've got to graduate at a certain time. Well, that linear thinking, nope, you're going to stay in school, you're going to finish right on time, could be problematic, because maybe that child needs to experience something in the mix while going to school and taking that semester off. And this is where your intuition has to come in. You have to be able to discern the difference.
I've got two quotes for you, and this is sort of related, so here they are. There are no ordinary moments. Every task, interaction, and decision is infused with sacred potential waiting to be revealed. And then a NASA astronaut, Story Musgrave, I probably use this the most on the whole show series. I love it. Story Musgrave said once, getting out of the comfortable path, that's what exploration is all about. Talk to us about some nuance here.
Whenever you're going to start something new or do something new or challenge yourself or explore something, you're going to be out of your comfort zone. But that's where you need to be, because you've got all these boundaries around you that you've placed or people have placed on you. How do you break through those boundaries? You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to, because that's expansion. That's how we expand. And when we expand, new ideas come in and new inspirations come in. It doesn't always happen, it doesn't happen in a familiar, easy way. It happens through the challenge.
Freedom happens when walls are removed. Okay, next, angels. Do they exist? Are you sure?
Well, when I'm in a healing session and I see a bunch of, like white beings with wings that are fluttering all around, I'm going to tell you, yeah, they do. Now, they don't always look like that. But oftentimes when I'm in a healing session and someone is really being surrounded by angels and they're being healed by them, that is the vision that I see. Now, we know that there's also other human angels that are here holding the space of love, that are here holding the space of peace. And they are absolutely around us. I mean, I've been told I'm a human angel. I don't know if that's true, but they're here. Did you ever just meet someone who you just was like, this person is just so divine in essence, so nice, so divine in essence? Well, that may be a human angel.
Speaking of angels in human form, do you have one of those moments in life you're absolutely convinced it was an angel in human form? There's the classic couple of examples people give. Walking down Main Street, a stranger says something they just needed to hear. It was the right time, and they turn and the person's gone. Or the car wreck, and the little old man pulls the woman out of the car wreck. When she turns, that person's gone. The state trooper gets there a second later and says, no, ma'am, I'm the first one on the scene. What are you talking about? So do you have one that might not be, a car wreck or anything, but do you have something you could share where you were absolutely like, whoa, what happened?
Well, actually, it was a car wreck. It actually was a car wreck. My nephew and I were coming back from vacation, heading to the airport, and I mean, everything was fine. The driver was fine getting us to the airport. The traffic was flowing, and out of nowhere, This car came, spun around. Our driver hit the car in front, and my nephew said, "We're going to hit." And there was a moment there where, Michael, I was cushioned. It was like time stopped. I was cushioned. I mean, the driver got burned from the airbags. The whole car, the front end was damaged. My nephew hit his head, went flying forward. He was fine, thank God. His glasses went fly in the front seat. And when I opened my eyes, I was sitting there with my pocketbook on my lap, just the way we were before the crash. And I was very well aware that I had been cushioned by angels.
Mm.
I had not a scratch, not nothing with my neck, no whiplash, nothing, absolutely nothing. And when you looked at the car, you would have thought, oh God, everybody got a little hurt here. Nothing. I had absolutely, and I knew it. It was like time stopped, and I was cushioned. And when I opened my eyes, I was like, oh, we just got into an accident, and I felt absolutely nothing.
We had two guests in this APL show series. John Burgos out in Hawaii shared one where it turns out it was his grandmother who knocked his baseball cap off. He's sitting in the driver's seat of a car, so the windows are closed, and somehow magically, it's a red light. The cap gets knocked off, and he decides he's going to have that cap back on before he goes through it. Turns green, but it's early in the morning. He's headed to the gym. There's no one behind him. So he's like, I'm just going to reach for that cap first. Cap getting knocked off. He reaches for the cap. It's a 6-second delay, and then a 18-wheeler zipping through that would have hit him and crushed him, and it saved his life. The other one was Jana Short, mentioned something with the traffic light again. She also had something spill, or she had to reach over by her legal papers, a stack of business papers, coffee's involved. People have to tune in and watch those shows. So are angels around all the time? Are we heard? How can we trust more, allow more, and also get out of our own way to start making requests, not just one way, firing off missiles? How do we actually turn it into a more productive session with angels daily?
Well, I do think they're around us. I think that everybody has spirit guides and angels watching over them. It's like they have an assignment. Us. Help that human be the best version and protect them, because things are going to happen that they're not supposed to be part of. So I do think that they are around us. They are guiding us. They are watching us. I have a friend who is a psychic medium. She says everybody's born with hundreds of guides and angels around every baby. So yeah, they're there. And well, if I was told, meditate at the same time every day and call them to you. And just call them to you. You don't need a name. You'll get a name eventually, or you'll give them one. They don't really care what name you call them, but they're there, and they really do like when you acknowledge that they exist. That strengthens the connection and really gives them the green light to help miracles happen in your life, to show you there's no coincidence, that you are being protected, you're loved, have faith, believe.
Miracles, that's going to be one of the two doorways you can choose to go down next. Miracles, or what does success look like with a client? And can you share something that's happened for someone without obviously their name being used that you'd love to recount? Which way do you want to go here, or both?
Well, some of the miracles and some of the successes are one and the same, or different. I can share something with you. I am going to have this person on one of my podcasts. She is miracle number 5 in my book. And she came to me with a lot of problems. She had a staph infection. She She had a calcification in her submandibular gland that had formed, and it had attached itself to the facial nerve. And she was told her prognosis was, well, we have to operate, and there's a very good chance you're going to have a facial paralysis because we have to touch the nerve to remove the calcification. She had no saliva, she couldn't eat. And she managed to get herself physically to me from Staten Island, quite a distance away. And after the first session, we talked so much about her childhood and so much about things that she had buried. And after that session, she went home, the staph infection was gone. And then after that, we proceeded to work over the phone because she couldn't keep getting to me or distance. We were well over 2 hours away from each other. And we worked regularly by phone. And I will never forget the day that I saw the beam of healing light go into her jaw. And I said to her, that stone just cracked. And she said, I have grit and saliva now coming out of my mouth. And I said, just hang on, just keep spitting it out, keep spitting it out. And sure enough, I said to her, that stone cracked in 3 places and it cracked off your facial nerve. And I said, is there any way that you can get an x-ray of this before you go in for surgery? And she tried, but the doctor said, no, the stone didn't crack. It's still in there and we need to just go into surgery. And as she was going into surgery, she said, you mark my words, that stone is cracked. It's cracked. My facial nerve is not going to be damaged. I'm not going to need a port in me. I'm going to be able to eat. Everything's going to be fine. And after the surgery, the doctor came out and said, holy crap. He said that stone was shattered into a million pieces. And he said, we had a hell of a time cleaning it out, but the gland is still there. There was no damage to your facial nerve. And you don't need a port and you're going to be fine. That was probably one of the biggest miracles that happened.
For a person out there who's watching all this, who's just like already teeing up all the things that are going on in their world. My problem is, my drama is, my situation is, this is happening to me. You don't understand my situation. I got 55 cats, 55 children, and 55 situations that you'll never have to deal with. I've got to deal with them all. How can a person just simply take a breath, fake a smile, relax a little, slow down, and allow with a capital A? Can you talk about that? It's not about the externals, no matter how big your book is, of what you're telling yourself and others. Talk to us about that dynamic.
The way that I was shown was take a step back, surrender it all up to a higher power. There is an answer. There is a solution. There is a way forward. You may not know exactly what that is yet, but if you surrender up to the universe, to God, to an angel, and say, show me how to handle this. Truth. Show me how to handle this. Show me what to do. You will be guided and answers will come. And there's miracles that happen like that every day.
But you get humor too. Can you share with us some humorous moments that you're like, that was funny, or I could use that again next week?
Something physical or
angels are very funny. They're very humorous. It's meant to keep you on your toes a little bit, but also to remind you that everything is always simpler than you think it is, because this is never about thinking.
Well, I think for me, sometimes, they give you the guidance and you don't follow it. And they say, okay. I say, no problem. Good idea. Follow what you think is right. And then when you trip and fall, okay, or you say, why didn't that work out? They kind of, you get this feeling like, well, I guess I did it my way and I didn't follow their way. And I'm trying to think of an example. Oh, well, driving the car, you're always told which direction to go in when you're driving the car. And then your mind says, no, 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 I'm not going that way. I'm going this way. And no, if you had followed the direction they told you to go in, you would have been fine, but you did it your way and now you're sitting in traffic. And that's happened to me a lot. When I travel from New York to New Jersey, do I go over the George Washington Bridge? Do I go around through the tunnel? What do I do? They tell me, they give me the answer. And I'm like, nah, I should just do it this way. And then I do it and I'm sitting in traffic. And then I look at the map and of course the way that they told me was clear. Okay, well, we have to learn to follow, learn to follow.
Mm. Do you have a CDA, Charlie Delta Alpha, a chief driving angel? Do you have one angel only, or is it the whole crew that's piping in?
There's a fleet of angels around me, but there is one, a sort of, we'll call it like a master or an archangel, and its name is Willow. And I wrote about this in the book. Yes, there is this Willow, but there's other angels. Sometimes I can't keep track of who's around me, whether it's galactic, whether it's angelic, whether it's a light being, whether it's a Pleiadian. Sometimes I can't keep track.
Yeah, and I've seen you in action. I know you're a good listener, paying attention and allowing, and strong in the force, as they say from Star Wars. This is my driving angel for just when to shift lanes. Do I want to try to make the light? Do I want to slow down ahead of time and just play it conservative? She's always there. I'd like to put her up for a talking point, something that you can take us in a certain direction, hear from her another topic, and just say, got it when you got it, and where are you taking us next?
Oh, okay. So I don't know, Charlotte's vacations. Why am I hearing vacations?
Everybody needs them, and I think it's the number one question everybody should be asking, because if you're not going on a vacation, are you really having all the fun you could have in life? And then I know the next question with this economy is, how do I pay for it? How do I afford the time? Are you kidding me? All the stresses. I got 19 kids, 55 cats, and another 55 children I didn't tell you about. So what are you going to do? How do you ever take vacation? Most of us, we're doing too much adulting. What do you got for us, Pauline?
Well, staycations are great. Staying local is great. I mean, if I tell you that's what I'm doing now, I'm actually not flying. I'm not doing too much. I'm staying home, but there are places that I can go visit close by that don't cost too much money, and a couple of days off and chilling and maybe doing something that I really wanted to do, like go to a concert or visit a friend, or just utilizing that time to recharge.
Hmm. And you
That's what
love the beach
I've
too.
been doing.
And you love the beach.
And I love the beach. And for me, I'm very lucky. There is a beach. It's not the ocean. It is the Long Island Sound, but it is 5 minutes around the corner from my house. So like I can just sit there. Is it the same as going to, maybe going to Florida or going to Mexico or going to Montego Bay or someplace else? No, it's not. Or Hawaii? No. But you know what? Is it really about where we're going? Or is it about the feeling we get from just allowing our mind and our bodies to relax and recharge?
And speaking of all that, we've reached the point in the show where we're going to light a little sage, blow a little sage, and why settle for just linear ho-hum? Not that sage is linear and ho-hum, but you're going to get sage. Smell it with the schnoggin. Doesn't matter if it's 2028, you're in Germany, New Zealand, China, anywhere. What will you allow for? But after that, you can allow for flowers. And then after that, why not allow for some beach smell? Let the beach come to you. Pauline, are you already starting to smell sage there in Long Island from Texas?
Michael, every time you do this, I instantly smell the sage. I get it. Yes, I smell it right away.
Any flowers coming in yet? And if you want a little bit of Hawaii or Bora Bora, not boring, I'm going to blow through the microphone. It's above the screen, so I'm blowing up. Get your little sea spritz on your nose.
Right now, I'm still getting the sage. Oh, and oh my gosh. What's coming through is almost like, I don't know. Does tumbleweed have the scent? Some sort of tumbleweed, like a desert sage or something like that is what I'm smelling.
Nice. We'll take it. Okay, talk to us a little bit about the galaxy. Is it okay that we know we're not alone in the universe? So they're unconditional loving figures that aren't angels, but might be from galaxies far, far away. How do we handle the news about that?
Oh, well, yes, of course, there are non-benevolent entities and beings, but I was told if you stay in the center of your light and you just keep making your own energy system, your aura very strong with light, you're impervious. They can't touch you.
And to be
They
clear, there's unconditional love beings from far away that are also here to protect us, help us out, but no interference. You got free will. You'd have to ask for it. Tell us more about all that.
Oh, look, ask for Archangel Michael. I view Archangel Michael has come so many times in healing sessions and helped people heal their fears. Okay. And that protection is real. People feel it and it's real. So pray to Archangel Michael, ask him to come, get a picture of him on your wall or whatever it is. And when you ask for something from God, from the universe, I promise you, it is instantly downloaded to you and given to you. And so that I would hope would make people feel comfortable, safe. Don't worry so much, you're protected, but you do have to ask for it. And one of the things that I was told to say all the time is that I am in God's grace. I am in the flow of God's grace. God, shower me with your grace. And you just say that over and over, you continue to build a very strong aura. And the dark entities they can't reach you. Because the good entities, the powerful entities, the light entities, the ones of unconditional love really are stronger and more powerful.
Chris Craighead, he's on the Sean Ryan show. He's an SAS, former SAS operator. That's England's special forces. He was in Nairobi, Kenya when the 700 hostages got taken by that one terrorist group. He happened to pick up a stranger in his SUV. He was out shooting, just practicing drilling by himself. He didn't know in 2 hours he was going to be rescuing 700 people almost single-handedly. He's not allowed to quite tell his story. The country of England has not given him permission yet to do his book. But he picked up a stranger before, this is about an hour before he hears the news of what's going on. He's getting back to his place. He hears the hotel has been seized. He picks up a stranger walking down the dusty African road in Kenya. And normally you don't pick up strangers, but it was a man in a suit. And he knew something was up. The man and him shared the same birthday, although the man didn't know his birth year. And as they got close to a village, the man said, "Could you let me out? I'll walk the rest of the way." But in the truck, he showed him this three-headed knife. I'll do it this way. And it was just ceremonial. It's something to do with African culture. As he got out of the vehicle, he said, "May God bless you many times today." I love that expression. It was Archangel Uriel in human form, and he was being blessed. He had no idea because he was in a flow state, not just for the terrorist incident that took 5-10 hours that day, but for days afterwards. He said when it finally left him, this flow state, he was reduced to tears, not in any pain, discomfort, but it was as if this energy had left him. He said that when he was doing the rescuing, every action he took, he was highly trained, was in this flow state, that it was all just unfolding in a perfect way. And it was scores of hostages being rescued, a couple bad guys being taken down. The next group he'd bring out, he'd run back in. And very interesting story. If anybody wants to check out the Sean Ryan show, Chris Craighead. He's only got an Instagram account that he services, but it's Chris Craighead, the way you would spell it. One day look for his book, but that was Archangel Uriel that he picked up, that he had a chat with. And what I'd like to do is put up a few angel photos for you to share with us, or unless you're getting something coming in right now about the "May God bless you many times today." I love that expression.
Yes, I think say it to everyone that you meet if they're open to it. We can even silently say it.
Yes. And even back to yourself, I'll do it on a run. You don't have to be religious. I'm not highly religious in any way, but I'm just saying, may God bless me. May the universe, loving beings bless me many times today. Whatever, you have to find your own comfort zone. And then
Yes.
you'll find that your comfort zone expands once you get over the language choice.
And feel worthy of saying that. Feel worthy and deserving of asking for that. Okay. Sometimes people say, well, God's too busy for me. God's very busy. No, no, no. God is omnipotent, but God is everywhere. God is not too busy for little old you, for little old me. No. So feel worthy of asking for blessings and protection and love and instantaneous. And I do this all the time. I say, please, God, download the energy of peace to me right now. I just need peace. And instantly it is downloaded to me, right? We have to be open and receptive, but it really can happen that quickly.
And what you're talking about could be labeled the Force from Star Wars. It's everywhere within everything all at once. And even that guy I mentioned, the SAS operator in Kenya for that famous hostage hotel thing, I think it was like, I don't know, 2019, 2020, something like that. They call him Obi-Wan Nairobi.
Oh, that's an amazing story. My goodness.
Yeah.
That story doesn't indicate, divine intervention and the power of angels and God and other beings.
It's a 6 or 5 hour interview with Sean Ryan on the Sean Ryan Show on YouTube. But not suggesting to fast forward and shortcut the whole thing. He builds up to it. Once you hear that story, you will be just touched. It's incredible. Let's put up a couple angel photos, Native American chiefs, maybe even one Arcturian with a sense of humor. We've done this before, and I already know you're a good listener. I want to remind folks at home that everyone's a good listener. If you've ever done listening at any point in your life, school teacher, friend, your mom, a relative, you've done it. It's letting go is letting go. Love is love. I got it. I didn't say love is love. Thinking's thinking. Love is love. I didn't mix it up. And so everyone at home is super great at this. And I've got one rule or bit of structure in 13 years. Oh, set your intent. Ask angels, the universe, loving beings to help you out of your head into your heart. Make it nice. Amen. Rock and roll. Thank you. Om Sai Ram if you're from India. You do it your way, but you got to set your intent. Here's
Yes.
Charlotte again. Can you get from her something that you want to share with us all, or she wants to share that you can keep going with?
What I'm getting from her is the message is to love yourself and know that you matter, because you do. Everybody matters. And the more light you bring, the better the world will be. And everyone has this magnificent light in them. Everyone does. Not just me, not just you, nobody's special. Okay. Everybody's special.
I think that was the big moment of the taping. I love that. Okay, here's Joy. What does Joy have for us as a reminder?
Oh, now Joy's getting very silly with me. I don't know why, but she's getting very silly with me. And I am seeing her hysterically laughing, like a belly laugh. She's just laughing. So I'm going to interpret that as, you know what? Get more humor in your life. Get yourself laughing, because laughing releases a lot of positive endorphins. When we laugh, we set off all these positive vibes in our mind and in our body. She's saying laugh, be funny, be silly, laugh.
Laughter is hope and healing for others. Okay, the next one is Claire, an angel who's all about resilience. Purple light, but they can be any color and they can be any shape, size. If you want to see them around on your street, you're going into a big city, you're going into New York, you can ask angels to show up in human form. Okay, what are you hearing from Claire? And you're doing great at this. Oh my gosh, Pauline, thank you.
Oh, I love we play. So I love this. Okay, Claire, on resilience. Oh, Claire, what I'm getting from Claire is, pay that thing no mind. Okay, you are stronger than you know. You are resilient. Okay, the past is gone. If you need to heal it, but move forward, move on, move forward. You're resilient. You got this. That's what I'm getting.
Oh, I love it. Okay, this angel's a little not complex in any way. Angels are super simple, but this one's got the most complex name out of a couple hundred. Min, I'll keep it that way. Min, Lakota Sioux word for water. She's soft-spoken professor, light waves of energy in water. If you want to think of her as Mother Hawaii, that's great. But anybody who wants to catch ocean smell or a water smell, it could be a waterfall sound in the room. The real question for us daily is, what will you allow for? We're so locked up tight often. I mean, I'm shut tight like an oyster at least 2, if not 20 days of the month. All of us are. Welcome to being human. It's called thinking, being up here and having to be somewhere, or anything but a smile, breath, being at peace. What's Min got as a reminder that you can run with?
Okay. I am seeing, well, I'm sort of smelling the ocean, and I'm seeing these big flowers that you might see in Hawaii. These big, maybe hibiscus, these big hibiscus flowers. And she's saying, stop and smell the flowers, stop and smell them, go with the flow. There's no rush. Be like the water. Let it ripple and carry you forward.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This is why we're having you back on the show a third time. Okay. Dull Knife. He's wisdom with some humor, a Native American chief, Cheyenne background, unconditional love. Great to help anybody navigate from point A to B. Super down to earth, like a mountain range. Anybody who wants to catch a Native American scent in the air: tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, pine, desert piñol. What are you catching in the air right now?
It's interesting. I'm torn between something musty and something fresh and clean. I'm torn in between those two scents. But his energy, what I feel is so much power from him, and he you have the power in you. He's got the power in him. You have the power in you, but you have to come into your heart. You have to come and you have to connect with the earth, and you will have the power in you that you need to do anything you want to do. That's what I'm getting from him.
Brilliant. Bravo. Love it. Okay. Red shirt is a Lakota Sioux chief, historical. That's his name. He's wearing U.S. presidential medal day after the photo was taken. He was at the White House, Pennsylvania Ave, horseback with Geronimo in a parade. I think it was President Teddy Roosevelt. Super soft spoken, compassion, compassion, compassion. I always describe him as the gentlest mom in the world. Super soft spoken, just so soft. What are you getting from Red Shirt?
Peace. Be the peace. Be the peace, and peace will come. You have to be the peace. Be the peacemaker. Be the peace is what I'm getting.
We have one more Native American chief, 2 angels, and then we'll spin the wheel on just a few more figures. Here's Geronimo, as soon as I can figure this out.
Oh, I love Geronimo.
Yep, we're going to get one more thing done here. Okay, Geronimo's coming up next. Got it, and here he is. He's action, dry wit, humor, but he's not formal and proper yes, no. He's more like, yeah, nah, duh. You already know the answer. Just do it. Much more smart alecky, funny. There's Geronimo.
It's funny. I'm getting a serious vibe from him, and he's right now. I'm feeling like this kind of like this no nonsense. Stop wasting your time on the things that you know you shouldn't be doing.
Generically for all of us, or is it just for you and you just admitted what your next to-do list is to let go?
No.
For all of us?
It's for everybody, right? Stop distracting yourself.
And what's he say a good mantra is to use daily?
I do everything I need to do in divine timing and in a divine way.
That's another one of those big ones. If you want to see fireworks, so let's do this. Ask Joy if you've got permission or you got this. Look up and see pink light up on your ceiling above you or in front a little bit. Go ahead and look up and see Joy in light energy form. She might be a little heart, shooting star. She often is silver flecks of light, like fish breaking the surface of the water. Let us know when you got that done. No tri-iota. And if you want to do this at home, leave your eyes in one spot, breathe more, set your intent, just be like, hey, Joy, do you mind showing up in light energy form? Let's do it. I'll just do Yoda's voice to distract.
Okay.
Do not. There is no try.
Okay, I got a flash right over here.
I didn't do it.
I
We'll
got a
blame.
flashlight right over here.
Let's blame Joy. Don't blame Canada. Okay, here's Harmony. She's Harmony, although she chose Tranquility to throw us off a little. She's supposed to be rainbow light in that photo. These are actual photos. I used to take them with a sure shot, hand them to folks, but you can just see angels standing by the Peloton bike full on if you want to go loosey goosey. What's Harmony got for us all as a reminder?
Seek a life filled with harmony instead of distraction or chaos or negativity, and your life will become that.
Oh, and since there's a lot happening in the world at any given time, it could be elections, post-election, this, that. It could be inflation going to 400%. A bread loaf costs $40. What do you know? We're in Venezuela now. What's Harmony say? How to keep it real, and what she just said, but with all the buts. But wait, what about this? What about that?
Well, the outer world reflects the inner world. So find that place of harmony, peace, that co-creative power within you, and watch your life and the lives of others begin to shift.
Love it. Meaning you can just right through the choppy waters of the storm. You don't have to abide by the up and down on the waves. You can go straight through with angels' help, the universe's help, your own letting go and allowing.
But as the collective, as more and more people get this,
yes,
and do this, it gets stronger. Because it gets stronger and more powerful, and it works. I mean, she's like still talking to me, so it gets stronger and power, and that's why we need to become harmonized. We need to live in harmony with each other. Forget about all this outside crap.
Yeah, it's like those choo-choo trains from the 40s that take a while to get going, and then they really get going, and finally they get their momentum going.
Collective harmony. What did she just say to me? Collective harmony is your true power.
Global slipstream of consciousness, love, shininess, and sparkle. You can find sparkle and joy and love in any moment. Just open your eyes to find it. I'm borrowing from Mary and some angels. There's nothing I've said today that's original. Okay, here's Heather. She's all about the hearts. She makes tons of hearts in her photos. She's all about compassion, but even her name rearranged is the word heart with a few extra letters left over. Unscrambled that Heather word. What has she got for you?
Don't let anything take you out of your heart center. There's the heart. Don't be influenced into anything that takes you out of your heart. Get back into your heart. It's okay if you're out of your heart, but recognize that you're out of your heart and take the steps to come back into it. You are love. You are already love. You are already love.
I'm going to do Big Mary for you in a second. Two balls of light that are more metallic balls of light. I'm going to mention Heather. I've seen her in human form in Maui, Vegas, New York, Austin, Texas, and Sweden, Stockholm. Yeah. She made my day. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got way too early to the Stockholm half marathon, the St. Eriksloppet, probably around 2000, 1999. And I'm in there. Olympic Stadium from 1912. It looks like an old Viking castle. No one's there. It's the opposite of a high school track or any type of track in America where they either lock them up, security guards, you're not allowed to go on it. It's wide open. I got a whole stadium to myself. And I'm on there, and a UCLA track star, should have been back in LA, the real one was probably back in LA, wearing UCLA garb, and she's doing her thing. And I was too shy to just open my mouth for 20 minutes. She started the conversation. It made my whole trip. And I couldn't shut up about it afterwards. But the bottom line is, what will you allow for? Angels can show up in human form. Here's two of the angels you've already spoken to. Charlotte and Min, the silhouette. The whitish one is Min. Blue is Charlotte, but a different form of light energy with smiley faces in there. They got something jointly to just uplift us all.
Yes, I'm just getting like, have fun with each other. Have fun with each other, balance things, find more things to bring joy and fun. That's what I'm just getting. It's cause like I'm almost seeing the two of them almost like balancing two bowls. Okay, like doing a balancing act with two bowls, and they're like just juggle, have some fun. Life can sometimes we do have to juggle too many things, but try to have some fun in there.
And last but not least, Penelope. We'll still try to do Mary and Arcturian, maybe a Pleiadian, and then we'll wrap that part up. Here's Penelope, a fun healing angel. There's a smiley face in there. People can see her as a big pen point, tiny paperclip sized, little like the tip of a paperclip. Just a little dot of light moving slowly along with a little wiggle that says, "Hi, I'm Penelope." Very soft. She'll come in just to remind you to get out of thinking. Keep it light. And
What's
you can,
what's interesting with her is I'm almost seeing like this little diamond. It's almost like a little diamond light. And it's like she wants to come in and lighten things up, right? Lighten things up a bit.
I love that. I've got a reminder before we do any more figures. The golden rule, treat others how you would want to be treated. And especially in whatever times we think we're in, even a decade from now, here's the way angels said it. Compassion for all is life. This is also about acceptance for all. Regard others as yourself, generously and without fixation. Believe in all. I'll put up Mary to add to it, and you add to it as well. Couldn't have a better combo talking about just love, 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 love. Everyone in Ireland has to have Mary this way, but I'm going to go to a more modern pick. People can lock it in. If you're in Europe, you're going to want her this way. But so freeze frame it and do your own listening in a little bit. But here's a more modern Mary. And you can let this historical photo sparkle more in the eyes, smile more. And if you want to go cray cray, see rainbow glitter everywhere swirling around, let it touch your skin, let it be love and compassion. And you don't have to vacuum afterwards. But if you did, I want to comment in this video that you had to vacuum or call a professional cleaner. You won't. But just if you're having fun, hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, of course. Here's Big Mary. Let her do her thing. And if anybody wants to turn up the volume, breathe through your mouth like you're in a yoga class. Let those shoulders heave ho. The more you do that, the more you're letting loving flows go through you. Pauline, are you feeling it right now?
I am. Look at the world and look at things through a lens of love, and that will change your perception. And that is a very big statement. It's not an easy statement, but it's looking through a lens of love and empathy and compassion.
Are you ready for a Pleiadian and an Arcturian? Let's go easy on you, and we'll do Audrey Hepburn before we do those two. Then we'll wrap it up with those two, just to show people the universe is just huge. Not that we're trying to show anything. Here's Audrey Hepburn, an angel historical photo. She's sweet. She's half sparkle, half grace. And you can let her move, wink, smile. Eyebrow goes up in the photograph. Nose wiggles. What are you getting from Audrey? And you want to catch a perfume, whether it's invented, uninvented. What are you getting in the air?
I get style, grace, make it your own. That's what I get. Style, grace, make it your own.
Okay, a Pleiadian, an Arcturian, who's just unconditional love. They're super geniuses, and they're half good at human humor. They hack human humor. It's a fail, and you'll be like, that wasn't even funny in the slightest, or it's actually really funny. It just depends. They're still working on it. Here's an Arcturian for folks. What are you getting? Is it a huge bit of consciousness and clarity coming in?
Yes, because I'm feeling like the mind, but consciousness is the right word. It is the excuse me, the elevation of consciousness that is I guess this is true. The elevation of your consciousness must be the focus. elevate your consciousness.
And he said the drawing, this is all over the internet, is about 98, 96% right. He's just not as big in the back, a little closer in. For the Pleiadian, we don't need to do any physical drawing. You can either close your eyes or you can just look room or out the window. It doesn't matter which way you want to do this, but allow a Pleiadian, he gave his name as Heinrich Erich A. Real name has way too many syllables for it. You could hear it directly. Let him come in, and you could be mind's eye, it could be eyes open. You can just see him as a column of light if you wish, any which way, spin the wheel. But let him come in with a reminder. He should be a lot easier than almost all the others that you've done. He's unconditional love being. He's not an angel, but it's all okay. What are you getting, Pauline?
The strength, the power of his healing, mind body connection, bringing into the heart. I feel a very strong sense of that is so much of what he carries.
So you'd say he's a healer for sure.
He is absolutely a healer, because I am seeing that, I am feeling that, and it's very powerful, like really healing at the cellular body, awakening the light body, letting yourself be more fluid.
Well, I learned something every day. You just taught me something there, because I didn't know he was a big healer, but I'm a slowpoke. What it takes me 2 years to do, I wish the audience would understand. The audience or the guests are doing it like that. That's how easy everything is. But let's spin the wheel again. Frank in Idaho, but Sarah in Germany. Sarah could be like, oh, I don't know about that, and take 10 years to take a step in some direction that Frank in Idaho just did without thinking twice. And that is across the board for everyone. But guess what? We're all where we're at. It's all good how it is. Good luck with disassociating with thinking, to just breathe. And the more you let go, the more the flow kicks in. And then suddenly you're jumping through hoops, no problem. Another exercise for you. I'm going to put up a couple crystals. I'm going to put up, you can say the name of it. It's reflective and it's got a blue shininess in it. And he's upside down. Hold on. Okay. What's the name of this one again?
Okay, so this one is the labradorite. Labradorite. This is a very good crystal to increase intuition, psychic abilities. So, it corrects the third eye, and it will help you see clearly. See the truth. Oh, seeing the truth, see clearly. See the truth, see clearly. And that means you have to get out of your linear mind, and you have to open up to your higher mind.
Can you put your palm out and feel the vibe? And what are you feeling on your palm from the crystal?
You always feel love from these things, because that's really what they are. There is a serenity. There is a serenity about this crystal.
Okay, and I'm going to pull back. I got another one for you. This time we have a display stand. We can get my hand off. Apophrolite, I can never pronounce it. It looks like, a quartz or a diamond or something like that. But there's apophrolite. People got to look it up for the spelling. Super high, shiny vibe. That's why I like it.
So does this help connect worlds, connect Earth with the higher frequencies, like a galactic frequency?
Oh, and I was supposed to say that. Whoops, I forget everything. I'm going to look like a moron. I'm so sorry. You're supposed to ask, and I'll go back. Oh, we'll just start from here on out if I do a couple more. Ask the Arcturian, ask the Pleiadian, ask all the angels, light beings to kick it into gear, but even see extra glowing off the crystals. I'm starting to get a headache because I'm using too much energy here, but the last act here is just ask for extra. You may or may not want to say how much you're seeing. It's okay. Hear from Charlotte and Joy about all that you got permission. Let them do their jobs and ask for some extra. This is a great one to do. Ask for extra light and vibe from the crystal, around you, around the crystal, in the room behind me if you want. If anybody wants to see an Arcturian, Pleiadian, an angel, Joy, Charlotte, just allow for what you can allow for. Get your socks knocked off. And if you're only wearing sandals, no socks, who cares? Get a wind in the room.
Oh, so just see like the tip of that crystal. There's like a beam of light coming from that to who's ever going to view this. And there's a beam of light coming from the tip of that crystal, and it's beaming out to whomever is witnessing it. So let yourself feel it here in the forehead. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was feeling. That's what it is. And
Yeah.
does the Pleiadian or Arcturian or both have an additional comment to add about this?
Well, what's coming to mind, so maybe it's the Arcturian. Again, raise your consciousness. Raise your consciousness and everything else will fall into place. It is the raising of the consciousness about who we are, getting out of the lower levels of consciousness. Start reading, learn about higher levels of consciousness. It will elevate humanity very quickly.
And I say just watch the Steve Martin movie, LA Story, where the theme of the whole thing was let your mind go and your body will follow. The rest falls into place. The only thing that gets in the way with any of this stuff is thinking something. And that's it, because it ain't about thinking. Thinking about hugging the dog is not hugging the dog. Thinking about going for a vacation or a walk is not doing it. Thinking is kind of a waste of energy if you look closely at thinking, but we can't tell anybody who's thinking any of that. So forget that you heard it. Being here is to relax and breathe and be and walk a smoother path. Pauline, what have you got for us for another final couple of points that you want to make? How can people check you out? Also, make sure you plug your website. All the details will be below the video, and you got a lot of details. I'll put it in there. But what do you want to leave us with as a final couple of reminders?
Look, we are here to evolve. We're here to love each other. We're here to remember who God created us to be. That is all of our missions here, all of us. And regardless of where you are on that path, just stay on that path because the world needs you. Okay? Everyone is needed. I wrote about this in my book. Every soul is needed to create the new earth. Everyone is needed to do it. You don't have to be an author. You don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to read angels. You don't, just start to get on that path. Stay on that path. My book outlines what the journey looks like, from crisis to illness to surrender to following the path, letting it unfold, turning it over to God, saying, I don't know how to do this. Show me the way. And here I am. And you too, when you read the book, you will see that not only is that possible for you, but just how much you're needed in this world. You're not insignificant. You're so needed.
And I'd add, one angel, Charlotte, the blue ball light, said 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal for us all. It's not realistic to have your thinking completely go away. I'm going to get back to thinking in an hour. Just give me a second. But 7% less thinking, if you flip that pancake, what are we talking about? 7% more here daily. Now, I've pulled out a calculator 4 or 5 times now, and I still can't remember what 7% of 24 hours is, but it ain't a lot. I don't think it's even a whole 2 hours a day. What is that less than 2 hours a day you're supposed to do instead of thinking? Read a book. Sit in the grass, hug your dog, go for a walk, take a shower, swim in the pool. 1 million ways to be here, but trust me, there's 40 million ways to talk yourself out of it. Logos, reason, psyche, ego, rejecting, resisting, reacting, fear, stress, worry, you name it. Welcome to being human. Pauline, how about a last final exercise? I'll put my hand up like this. You'll do the same in New York, from Texas to New York, but only our highest vibe, not our thinking side. Not my problem is worrying about the bills or my bank account. Feel the vibe. Let me know what you feel with your hand up. Breathe through your mouth if you're at home wanting to do this. Only highest intent at the audience level for the next 10 to 20 years watching this.
Am I doing hand to hand with you?
Yeah, just feel what you feel. What are you feeling? And we're going to blame angels for this. It's really angel light coming through. What are you feeling?
Well, this might be a dead giveaway, but just very uplifted. I'm hearing playful, swim in the sea, swim in the sea, uplifted, playful. Life is worth living.
And then with your permission, but we're blaming these two angels, I'm going to whoosh you rainbow light 3 times, low, medium, and high with this hand, and I'll blow through the microphone that's above and you catch a little Hawaii. But the first one, you'll feel it up your back or wherever on your person. At home, you can do this. Ask angels to Calgon take you away. If anybody remembers the 80s commercial, it just means to whoosh you with light, let go of your problems a little more. Remember, shifting your perspective, lightening up a little bit allows you to see it in a different light so you can move past the situation. Doesn't mean you're not going to have 19 new problems 2 months from now, but for the moment, keep it simple. Allow a little whoosh like this with energy. Pauline, are you ready? Put your hand up if you would and just connect one more time. Breathe through the mouth. Here it comes. Little one first. Pitch a little rainbow light your way.
Okay, found that. I felt that. Actually, I saw yellow. Go ahead.
Ooh, I love it. Mediums next. We'll go halfway up unless people are already like, no, I'll take a full dose of rainbow light. Here we go.
A little stronger. I'm still seeing a lot of yellow.
And we did this on your show, Guided by Spirit. I did it for you and your co-host, who's awesome. Is it Richard? I think. Last but not least, here's the big enchilada. Ask for it all. Lots of light if you want sparkles in the room, unicorns, anything. What will you allow for? Here it comes.
So interesting. It was like I saw a planet. I saw Jupiter. I saw Jupiter. So that's luck. That's abundance. That's all good things. Jupiter. Yep.
Well,
So yeah, people can contact me through my website, paulineraphaela.com. You can I have lots of things on my websites. I have meditations. Some of them are free, some of them are you can pay for, but I have lots of things that you can, tools and things that you can use to help you on your journey on my website. And I do a lot more work on Facebook. You can contact me there on Facebook. I do that. And all of these videos are uploaded to my YouTube channel, Pauline Raphaela on YouTube.
Yeah. Again, check the video details and also be sure to check out episode 79, June 19th of this year. Pauline was already a guest on the show the first time. We'll have her back on second half of 2025, probably July, if people want to check out that next appearance. Pauline Raphaela, thank you so much coming to us from Long Island, Glen Cove. Lots of trees, tall trees, old trees, nice trees.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. You're fabulous.
Oh, I know. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I love it. You know, I love the angel play that we do.